Ladies and gentlemen, the following tag team contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the West Coast Wrestling Connection Tag Team Championships. Introducing first, Joey Ryan and Caleb Konley.
Lights, cameras, action. You're looking at Caleb Konley and Joey Ryan, your next Dub C Tag Team Champions.
Main event time here on the West Coast Wrestling Connection. Todd Kenley, Jeff Aiken, and we have been joined at the broadcast area by none other than Matt Stryker, someone who knows a little something about being in and calling main events. Matt, what brings you out here?
Well, I think the fact that Caleb, Joey, and myself all kind of look alike is the first thing that brings me out here. The second thing that brings me out here is you guys need some serious help on commentary. I mean, honestly, it's like Byron Saxton and Tony Dawson. Which one of you are Mike Adamley? And Jeff hasn't even spoken yet.
Ouch, well, you're making me crazy.
Oh, I see what you did there. What'd you guys think about what I did to Mikey O'Shea? You know what? Don't answer that.
And their opponents. From the Neon City, they are the WCWC Tag Team Champions, Jack Manley, Remy Marcel, the Whirlwind Gentlemen.
Tag team titles on the line, and back to you, Matt Stryker. Yes, congratulations on your victory over Mikey O'Shea. You did what you set out to do. You out-wrestled him, but he gave you a run for your money.
Hey, listen, I'll be the first one to tip my cap to a lot of the wrestlers in the WCWC locker room, but come on, in this day and age, let's be honest, there's no one that can out-wrestle me. I'm the best pound-for-pound wrestler in this locker room, and you cannot deny that.
Tag team titles on the line here in our main event.
Wow.
What, I have to ask you then, what's your agenda? What's next?
Look, my agenda is to keep wrestling, to keep winning matches, to keep making money. I have two homes, one on the southern shore of Long Island on the beach. I need to maintain my lifestyle. I see so many of my friends work a 9 to 5, and I think that's sad. So there's my agenda. That's what's next for me. What's next for you, Jeff Aiken?
Well, what's next for me is, I can't wait for it, actually. Next week, we have two huge matches I'm excited in. One, you're involved in. I'll let you talk about that. But Exile and Tyshawn Prince, big tables match. They're going to settle the score that happened just a week ago right here in front of our very eyes as Exile got slammed, choke slammed, through a table onto that hard concrete floor. Matt, the violence, the competition here in the West Coast Wrestling Connection has been at an all-high level. Yes, pound for pound, you may be the best pure wrestler, but man, the level of competition here is unbelievable.
Look, I get what you're saying, but in any sport, it comes down to fundamentals. If we talk about baseball, it'll come down to pitching and defense. If we talk about hockey, it comes down to goaltending. Football, it comes down to defense. This sport comes down to wrestling. So for all the Exiles and Gangrels of the world, I'm still a better wrestler. And if you think of some of the greatest wrestlers you've ever known, all of them have my body type. Just run down the list: Kurt Angle, Jerry Briscoe, Dean Malenko, Fit Finley. There's no one in the locker room that can do what I can do.
Fair enough. Match starts up here. We've got Caleb Konley going to kick things off with Jack Manley. And Matt, let me ask you this. You got two great teams in there. Konley with the roll-up out of a crucifix position.
Very pretty.
Keys to success in this matchup, champions versus challengers.
The Whirlwind Gentlemen have shown us that they are very quick on their feet. They have great tandem offense. But you have to keep in mind that Joey and Caleb have huge egos. And that's what this is really all about. It's about social media. It's about being on TV. I think the ego of Joey and Caleb is something to watch out for here.
Ego, and today's broadcast brought to you by the letter E. They also have a lot of experience, Jeff Aiken.
That they do, both former legacy champions, and Caleb Konley, a former tag team champion here in the West Coast Wrestling Connection as well. Not a stranger at all to the Whirlwind Gentlemen and this kind of a strategy here. But the Whirlwind Gentlemen, to your point earlier, Matt, yes, they're very quick, but they're also very sound tacticians with tag team wrestling. As you can see right now, they've got Caleb Konley on their side of the ring.
And it goes back to, you mentioned my match with Gangrel next week. It's going to be about wrestling. And honestly, look, Gangrel's great, I get it. But have you ever really seen him wrestle? Wow, that was nice.
Beautiful Hurricane Rana takedown there by Jack Manley, quickens the pace. And that's what the gentlemen are going to have to do to be successful in this one. Has him cornered. Quick tag made to Marcel. The champ's looking good in the early going.
Wasn't Marcel Ross's monkey's name on Friends?
Believe it was.
There you go.
Hang on.
Joey still has the lollipop in his mouth, by the way. Oh, not anymore.
Came out, now Remy Marcel's got it. Now, if he was smart, he'd throw that into the cheap seats.
Well, I do know there's a cure for hepatitis now, so I'm sure Remy can do whatever he wants with that lollipop. Ooh. How many licks does it take to get to the center of Remy Marcel?
1, 2, 3, I believe it is. But the misdirection play there.
Ew.
Oh, boy. Save that for later.
Oh, what does a fish lollipop taste like? Oh.
Konley now in firm control. Gotta love the upside of this team of he and Joey Ryan. A lot of championship history. Can they add to it here tonight? And they know how to bend the rules, take every advantage in there, Matt.
Yeah, they do. Jeff, you want to help me here, buddy?
Yeah, I'll help you out here a little bit. Not only do they know how, Todd, but they're more than happy to do it at any opportunity. But they haven't really had to this point. They're really taking the Whirlwind Gentlemen all the way in this matchup, showing their experience, their skill, everything is up to snuff to challenge for these tag team titles. But, Matt, you talked about the fundamentals. It comes down to wrestling. But what the Whirlwind Gentlemen have that I think might be a little more powerful than the ego of the challengers is heart. They've got that heart and they've got that drive, and I know you slough it off, but it's that intangible that has brought them to the tag team gold.
Okay, that's great. Heart and drive and determination, and that's wonderful. But a right hand to the chops and a cover here is another cover here is definitely going to another cover here. That's heart. That's heart right there. Giving me this stuff about heart. Closer to the heart, perhaps?
Yeah, a little bit.
The men who hold high places?
Must
Hearts
be
on
the
fire?
ones who start.
No, see, Todd, we were doing a Rush thing, and then you went into some like 80s St. Elmo's Fire soundtrack.
It was John Cafferty,
Yeah,
Rocky IV,
whatever.
the soundtrack of the Cold War.
Thinking montage. Anyway, the challengers in control now, and they have taken away one of the primary weapons of the champions, and that's the double team offense. Marcel a long way from his corner right now. Big high hip toss there by Caleb Konley. Looking for the win, looking to make history.
You know, another thing a lot of things people don't realize is that the size of the ring really, really matters. Remy Marcel is a good 10, 12 feet away from his partner. Caleb positions his body between himself and Remy, and also notice how the referee also works into it. Great counter there by Caleb. Oh!
Well, and Matt, it's not just about the hooks that far leg. So close to new champions right there. Not just the size of the ring, but the size of the competitor as well. In next week's tables match with Exile and Tyshawn Prince, you have two guys that can reach the other side of the ring by taking one step. You take somebody like Remy Marcel, who has to fly all 20 feet to get to the other corner.
And your new Segway champion.
No, but really, Todd, honestly, I really just think you should buy him a steak dinner because that was great. That was just such a seamless transition. But back to me. See, now, I think what's important, Todd, don't look at me like that. You know what, Todd, you talk.
Marcel trying to get back to his feet. Would love to make a timely tag here, trying to create some distance, but he is still getting smothered by Caleb Konley. Look out here, high impact on the way. Can he finish him? No! Ooh. Sunset flip, nice counter, nobody home for the elbow. And Marcel's got to find a way to get to Jack Manley.
He's swimming his way across the ring, and that's where that body size, that ring size comes into play.
Goes upstairs, excuse me, but opportunistic.
No, here it is. Well, Joey had to slow up there because of the way Jack was coming in. And here comes the Manly Man.
Manley on fire. He's been on that apron for quite some time. He's fresh. Look out here. Perhaps a little tornado bulldog. Beautifully done. Taking out both men.
Doesn't catch all of it. Goes for that lateral press. No, hook the far leg. So close. You got to think if he would have cut all that, Todd, we'd have successful title defense right here.
I think so, and that's the pace there momentarily that the champions needed. But Konley slowing it right back down. The challengers looking good.
Challengers in firm control. Jack Manley goes for the long ride, ends up flat on his back. Joey Ryan, the legal man, put on top. And oh my goodness, so close to new tag team champions.
History nearly made there, and ironically enough, it was the double teaming of the challengers that enabled them to almost win the title.
You know, Todd, you're making me sick. I'm done. Jeff, handle this.
What makes me sick is Joey Ryan going for that lollipop in his tights. Seriously, Todd, what was that?
I don't know what to make of that.
Matt Stryker making his way out of the broadcast position, and oh no!
That's gonna leave him with one heck of a bad taste in his mouth. Manley off the top, closes the gap. Deep hook of the leg. Champion's gonna reach Tane. Only a count of
Just
2. Wow.
unbelievable. Joey Ryan digs down somewhere. Has something I've never seen from him before. Able to kick out. We've got both of the Whirlwind Gentlemen in the ring.
Oh, man. Double team move there. Takes Joey Ryan up and over. Konley, nothing he can do about it at the moment. This matchup continues. Man, moments ago, I thought the gents had it.
It was all but one. Jack Manley had Joey Ryan in a losing position, going for it once again. Joey Ryan keeps coming. Caleb Konley on his knees on the outside, still trying to catch his wind. Manley and Marcel looking for that opening, not able to find it.
Konley.
Oh my goodness, Caleb Konley comes in, pulls the referee out of the ring.
Konley coming around the bend. Yeah, put his hands on the official calling for the bells. We await the official word.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winners of this match as the result of a disqualification. And still, WCWC Tag Team Champions, Jack Manley, Remy Marcel, the Whirlwind Gentlemen.
They're fighting all the way to the back. Caleb Konley getting a little overzealous, trying to break up the pin, put his hands on the official. Official calls for a disqualification, but the Whirlwind Gentlemen, they survived this tag team matchup. Tag team title defense, might be lucky to escape with the titles in this one.
And we'll see who's lucky next week. We've got the tables match with Exile and Tyshawn Prince and the Pacific Northwest Championship on the line. It's Matt Stryker challenging the Vampire Warrior.